Hey everyone, it's Nova here with the Lineless art tutorial. Finally. I'm sorry it took so long. My life is a little bit crazy right now. But I hope you enjoy. My victim to draw is going to be a WIP of mine. It's Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen. And I'm going to be drawing in like snow leopard hybrid form. So first, I always sketch on paper, actual paper, like pencil drawn sketch, and then I import it into my drawing program, which is FireAlpaca, or even Painted if I'm on my phone. And then I do the flat colors first, not necessarily in the order that I'm revealing them here, but this is just the most convenient order. Here's a little sneak peek of how I am going to do the hybrid features, but I haven't gotten around to that part yet. Because first I did all the human parts, the shading and the rendering, which I will be revealing here. So first the face, more of the face, and then 3 layers for the hair, which will make sense in a moment. A little side note, the hair was originally white, but I couldn't figure out how to do the hair for the life of me until I finally figured out that I was using the wrong values because I was starting from pure white. It was really difficult to really, go lighter than that, so I changed the hair to this shade of gray. So I will be creating a new layer, just to show you guys what I'm doing. How I go through this process. Generally, the only 2 brushes I use are the pen and the watercolor tool. So here you can see I'm going in with the watercolor tool, first with the wrong color because it's the same shade as the skin, so I don't know what I was thinking. But basically you want to work in values, so like darker shades, lighter shades, highlights. And basically the trick that I use for this are the makeup tricks I use in cosplay. So when I want to accentuate my nose, I use the contouring tricks I learned for my nose, same with the depth of the eyes. And also of course some anatomy studies, but honestly for the shading I mainly use makeup tricks. And also I refer back to my original sketch, and I put that over my layer, and I just very lightly, like to see where, for example, the nose is, I very lightly just follow the guide for mainly the nose and chin. And then I just go in with the watercolor, and as you can see, because it's watercolor, the more you add on top of it, the deeper the shade becomes. So you're really able to get some really deep, some real depth with this tool. The one thing you cannot do though is add lighter colors properly on top of darker colors. So if you wanna put in highlights, for example, which I'm going to be doing in a moment, then on top of like the eyelids, then you need to create a whole new layer for that. Also, don't mind the mess I'm making. It's a messy process, and you can probably do this in an easier way, by using the lasso tool maybe, but honestly in my eyes the mess is just part of the process and I enjoy erasing everything later. Maybe I'm a bit weird for that, but yeah, it's part of my process, so you can figure out what you want to do for yourself, of course. This is just the way I do it. And then for the hair, I used some of the guides I already made earlier when I was trying to figure out how to do this. And so I'm starting with a medium shade, a little bit darker than the original shade. And then I just slowly, well, not really slowly because it's sped up, but then I just add darker values, I change the brush size, and then I add highlights on top of that with a new layer. And I believe another layer as well. But basically, I try to avoid using pure white until the very end. Just to get that, like, because it takes more effects. And I've also finally found my background layer, apparently. And now for the trick to my hair. It's one of the most vital parts in my eyes of the way I draw hair. So you can see here that I'm trying to find the right brush and the right size. I usually do this with a pen tool because it's just a lot sharper, crisper. And I go in and add a few like flyaways, like little hairs that don't sit on his head as neatly. And also in the hair as well, just a few tinier white lines. And then the eyes, like, my guy has insanely pretty eyes, but I was struggling trying to figure out how to draw them. But yeah, they're insanely blue, insanely pretty, like, basically like unnatural. But you will see me get very happy in a moment when I finally figure out a right brush. And then I move on to the eyebrows. And I basically repeat the same process as the hair. So like darkening it first, adding the shadows, and then the highlights, finer hairs. in the end result, I did adjust some things, like I kept the hair and eyes that I drew for this tutorial, but I basically kept my own skin rendering that I already did, which you can see like with the throat, with the Adam's apple and the dimples, like that sort of stuff I kept. So yeah, this was my tutorial on my lineless art, on how I do it. I hope this helped. I hope you can figure out your own style, your own path in this, because it's, in my opinion, a lot of fun to do. And yeah, I hope this helped. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.